In the beginning.
WPVI-TV, Philadelphia. As a public service to our late-night viewers, Channel 6 now presents a rebroadcast of tonight's 11 o'clock news.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Gary Papa and Rob Jennings.
The cheers this New Year's Eve are for the Philadelphia Eagles. Though they got lost in the fog in Chicago, loyal fans showed up at the airport tonight to welcome the team back after a successful '88 season. Saturday night, the big story in Action News, an outpouring of support for the Eagles as they return to Philadelphia. The Birds may have lost the Fog Bowl to the Bears in Chicago, but they're still #1 with their fans. And they played a game few will ever forget. Gary Papa joins us now with a look at the most unusual game.
Oh, yes, it was. Two plays really set it all for the Fog Bowl today. First, the Eagles' offense in a fog. They couldn't quite finish off their drives. Here's Keith Jackson's drop of a sure touchdown. They can only get 4 field goals today. Then the fog rolled in. Eagles were socked in offensively. Randall suffering 3 interceptions. Owner Norman Brayman really suffering today. He says, why wasn't this game called off because of the fog?
It's just a shame to be deprived of an opportunity to play a football game. We're a big play team. We go for the long pass. You couldn't see anyone out there. I don't think the officials could see whether there were 14 guys on the field or 11 guys on the field. And I think I'm just afraid that the decision wasn't based on the conditions out there, but was based on other circumstances like, hey, when can the game be played? When could the networks accommodate it? Tomorrow there's 2 games on. Monday there's all the ball games are on. And I just think it's really unfortunate that no one had the guts to really do what should have been done as far as this game is concerned.
Now, William, the refrigerator Perry was there. Maybe that's why there was so much fog today. The refrigerator was defrosting in Chicago. We'll have more in sports, including a report with Scott Palmer on the most unusual football game you've seen, or I guess you haven't seen.
Almost.
In a long time.
Thank you, Gary. The season may be over for the Eagles, but they were winners this year, and Dwayne Jackson tells us loyal fans turned out at the airport tonight to welcome home the heroes of '88.
The Eagles landed at the overseas terminal of the airport at 8 o'clock, and the players outnumbered the small group of loyal and vocal fans who waited outside the gates.
Next year we're going to get them!
Despite the small turnout, running back Keith Byers said success has brought the Eagles fans and players closer together.
The season that we had, we interjected some more life into the Philadelphia fans. They think differently about the football team here, so I think we've gained their respect, and we respect them as well.
While the disappointment from today's loss was etched on players' faces, they and their coach are optimistic about this team's future.
Yeah, we got a great football team, and the Bears know we're as good as they are, and we know we are, and I know we are, so we'll play again.
So next year is not just a saying, it's a real...
Oh, it's a real deal, that's right, yeah.
The fans called for the coach who had led the Eagles into the playoffs, and they greeted each player who drove through the crowd. Some said this year's success was just a preview.
Next year, nothing's going to stop us next year. They were young this year. They gave us a great year, and I'm proud as hell of them. Love them all the way. Next year, we'll be down here welcome home for the Super Bowl victory.
A dejected Randall Cunningham said he'll still celebrate a Happy New Year tonight as he prepares for a postseason Pro Bowl appearance. But this time next year, he hopes to look forward to a more super kind of bowl. There were no heads hanging here tonight. The Eagles are a young, talented, and now confident team, which will no doubt be back next year. And you got to remember that 20 teams didn't make it as far as the Eagles did this year. Dwayne Jackson, Channel 6 Action News at the Philadelphia International Airport.
Playoff fever was high this Saturday until the fog rolled in and sealed the Eagles' fate. Eagles fans gathered around TV sets wherever they were today. These fans at Sportsters and King of Prussia were no exception. They even spelled out an Eagles cheer, hoping it would help the Birds more than 600 miles away. And some Eagles fans were in Chicago today, but their playoff hopes dimmed as the fog set in. David Henry reports from the windy or the foggy city.
Plenty of the Eagles faithful showed up for this game. These fans are not only from the Delaware Valley, but from all over the country. They took a big risk being here today. It could have been about 6 degrees with a wind blowing off Lake Michigan, but they got lucky. It's 32 degrees and sunny at game time.
Beautiful. Couldn't be better. I feel like I'm in Miami. I'm ready for the Super Bowl now, actually.
We prepared for it. We got a lot of warm clothes yesterday in Bethlehem, and we're ready for it today.
And a lot of antifreeze today.
We got it right with us.
But there wasn't much need for the extra heavy clothing. In fact, for some Bears fans, this weather is downright tropical, warm enough to peel off all the extra layers. At least one Eagles fan had extra luck on top of the good weather.
We bumped into the owner of the Eagles in a hotel last night. We came down with no tickets, and he gave us 3 tickets for the game today.
As it turns out, the weather was the least of worries for Eagles fans. The real challenge came from dealing with these guys, the Bears fans.
We got fellow snowballs, a couple choice names, you know, but that's all right. He came here for this. It's great to be in Soldier Field.
Oh, yeah, walking in through the parking lot, you know, we had to wait in line. There's people screaming and yelling at us and throwing snowballs, but we expected it, so what can you do?
The Eagles fans here must have felt like General Custer surrounded by Indians, especially those who found seats away from the pack.
Yeah, you know you're in enemy territory here. It's worth every bit of it because I tell you, they're going to be on our side when we get done there today. Taking a lot of abuse. It's worth every bit.
Eagles fans basked in the sun, if not glory, for the first half, and then Old Soldier Field found a way to make weather a factor again, as heavy fog rolled in off Lake Michigan. But even that didn't seem to matter much. They were just happy to be here in this historic setting, watching 2 great teams battle each other and the elements. Too bad it didn't have a different outcome. David Henry, Channel 6 Action News, Chicago.
And, of course, Gary Papa will be back in a few minutes with the full Eagles story. Scott Palmer will have a report from Soldier Field later in sports. And in less than an hour, we'll all be ringing in the new year as 1988 fades into history and 1989 is ushered in. The crowds are already gathering at Broadway and 42nd Street in New York, Times Square, for the traditional and biggest New Year's party in the country. Nearly 1 million people are expected there tonight. Once again, the illuminated ball will be lowered at the stroke of midnight after 7 years of using an apple, symbolizing, of course, the Big Apple. And, of course, there are numerous celebrations planned here in the tri-state area tonight. Action News reporter Rick Williams is at one now in Penn Valley, Montgomery County. Rick?
Well, Rob, the countdown is definitely on. With less than an hour to go in 1988, this is how some folks in Penn Valley are choosing to welcome in the new year. As you can see, it's a New Year's party, but they say this is more than just a party. It's become an annual ritual that some might say it's a little strange. Here's why.
A little tomtit sang Willow.
Maurice Chevalier himself was a guest at this party tonight. No, actually, it was a lip-sync contest, one of many events that go on at this annual, and some might even say bizarre New Year's Eve party. It's a best of the worst competition that Charla and Charlie Bendis say has grown in popularity over the years.
We decided we'd stay home and we started inviting people in, people that never met each other before. Started having competitions, and we decided that tasteless was more fun than tasteful. So that's how we got started.
From the giving of truly tasteless gifts to the singing of New Year's Eve songs, these partiers say it's a fun way to bring in 1989 and enjoy the company of good friends.
It's a good, safe way to spend New Year's Eve.
We wait all year for this night. It's a lot of fun, and you never know what's going to happen.
So you don't know exactly what's going to happen tonight?
All I know is it's going to be off the wall.
With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, "Oh, Willow, Tit Willow, Tit Willow."
And so that's how these folks are welcoming in 1989 and saying goodbye to 1988, which just goes to show you there doesn't have to be one specific way to celebrate as long as it's safe and as long as it's fun. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Rick Williams reporting live on the Action Cam from Penn Valley.
Thanks, Rick. Optimism was the principal mood expressed in the New Year's greetings of both President Reagan and Soviet leader Gorbachev today. The president echoed the sentiments of his Soviet counterpart that 1988's improvements in U.S.-Soviet relations will be expanded into 1989.
Important differences remain between our countries and will continue for years to come. But I am confident that we have been witness in 1988 to progress that, if we're careful and diligent, can continue next year and during the years to come.
In his message, Gorbachev called for mankind to find the wisdom to create peace for all peoples.
If we are capable of a new way of feeling, then we must surely be capable of a new way of thinking. If we're capable of a new way of thinking, then, instead of merely surviving, we can live in a new way, on the basis of equal rights, justice, trust, humanism, and wide-ranging cooperation.
President Reagan, who will leave office on January 20th, took the time to wish a fond farewell to the Soviet people. Well, the Philadelphia-based Procrastinators Club of America has just come out tonight with its predictions for the year just passed. And they never miss. The club's #1 prediction for 1988 is that George Bush will be elected president, that he will shoot quail over Christmas while vacationing in Texas. The Procrastinators also predict that Billy Martin will be fired again by Yankees owner George Steinbrenner, that a heavyweight boxer will earn more than $200,000 a second for a minute and a half, and then be KO'd himself by a couple of lightweight ladies, and that $1 million will be spent to free a couple of whales so they can be caught by Japanese fishermen. Still ahead on Action News tonight, we can see clearly now, and in the wake of the Fog Bowl, the Eagles are flying home. Gary Papa has the game story. Scott Palmer will report from Chicago on the fog and the controversy, and we'll check the outlook for the Mummers Parade for tomorrow and the first week of the new year in AccuWeather's forecast just ahead on Action News.
Start the new year right with Crazy Eddie's New Year's Day one-day sale. Start the new year right with savings up to 60% on TVs and VCRs. Savings up to 60% on rack systems and compact disc players. Savings up to 60% on home appliances and business equipment. Savings up to 60% on anything and everything, because Crazy Eddie's starting the new year right with 8 big hours of savings, noon to 8 New Year's Day. Celebrate the new year with Crazy Eddie, because with savings up to 60%, his prices are insane. And Happy New Year.
Every single carpet's on sale. Now at Spectrum Carpets, everything's sale. That's 15 to 50% off every carpet. Now through Monday only. Over 3,000 different choices. Saxonies, plushes, trackless, Stainmaster, Stain Blocker, worry-free. Every carpet is 15 to 50% off. There are no exceptions. Plus, make no payment with no interest for 6 months. It's Spectrum Carpets Everything Sale through Monday at 6 showrooms around town. Or call our Shop at Home service now.
In the beginning, man slept soundly until he was rudely awakened. Later, he invented gadgets, which proved ineffective. At last, there is hope. Call 976-WAKE now from any touch-tone phone to make sure you get up on time. Call 976-9253 when you have to get up and get going. Start your morning off right. 976-WAKE.
$2 per call. Calls returned anywhere in Pennsylvania.
Upper Darby detectives are still piecing together a shooting incident tonight inside a popular restaurant this evening. Both the owner of the Lanark Diner and a former employee were found shot inside the restaurant on Township Line early this evening. They were taken to the hospital of the University of Pennsylvania, where they're being treated for serious injuries. A hospital spokeswoman tells us that both have undergone surgery tonight. No other information is available about the shooting or the victim's conditions right now. In Bedminster, New Jersey, 4 people were injured today when their twin-engine plane crashed into some woods near the Somerset Airport. Police say the plane was attempting to land at the time of the crash. Federal aviation investigators are continuing their probe of that crash. West German authorities are denying reports that the bomb which destroyed Pan American 103 was originally planted in Frankfurt. 259 people were killed in the December 21st crash. Meanwhile, a Dearborn, Michigan man says tonight that the FBI is investigating whether his son unwittingly carried the bomb aboard that plane. But agents have apparently told him that his son, who died in the crash, probably was not involved. Tonight, the bomb blast inside a Maryland home of a Brazilian embassy employee has claimed a 4th victim. 4 teenagers were apparently trying to make a bomb when the device exploded inside the garage early this morning. 3 boys died at the scene. A 4th died tonight from his injuries. Both the embassy lawyer and her husband were asleep in the house at the time. Neither was injured. Political observers say it is highly unlikely that either President Reagan or President-elect Bush will testify in the upcoming trial of former White House aide Oliver North. North's lawyers claim that during the Iran-Contra affair, his activities were approved by the White House.
Here's why Oliver North wants Ronald Reagan to testify at his trial.
Throughout the conduct of my entire tenure at the National Security Council, I assumed that the President was aware of what I was doing and had, through my superiors, approved it.
Both the President and Vice President knew in advance they'd be subpoenaed by the defense in the North trial. The Vice President's counsel is looking at his subpoena and says there'll be no comment until he's had time to study it. Mr. Reagan was told last Wednesday by his Chief of Staff, Kenneth Duberstein, the subpoena was coming, and the President was informed on Friday the document had been delivered. Administration lawyers in Washington are reviewing the presidential subpoena, which they say also asks for some of Mr. Reagan's personal records. The major concern these administration lawyers have is whether the President can be forced to testify on matters such as these. And the fact is that if the trial begins on schedule at the end of January, it will be George Bush in the White House, not Ronald Reagan. A statement from White House spokesman Roman Popaduke with the President here says it would be unprecedented for a president to personally appear as a witness in a criminal trial. And he says historical precedents suggest any necessary or relevant information could be provided through written questions and answers.
It is absolutely clear, in my view, that the President and Vice President do not need to appear, but they may have to surrender some of their papers and tapes.
Ronald Reagan has tried to stay out of the trial of North and his boss, National Security Advisor John Poindexter. Now that Oliver North is about to go on trial, Mr. Reagan is being asked to remove that shadow of guilt. And from the initial reaction here, Ronald Reagan is unwilling to do that. John Holloman with the President in Palm Springs, California.
During the day, I give 100% to my employer. In the evening, I do the same for myself. Thanks. I'm earning my degree at Holy Family College.
Call Holy Family College at 637-7700 and discover why so many motivated people are choosing Holy Family College. We have an excellent faculty and small class size. We offer quality. We are conveniently located in Northeast Philadelphia. And most of all,
I had really never thought I'd want children. I spent most of my romantic life trying not to have babies.
On the next Sally Jesse Raphael, Angie Dickinson tells it all.
Johnny got hooked by somebody else. We just keep getting together between marriages.
She's been linked to America's most desirable man.
Frank is as exciting as you imagine him to be. He's just great.
Meet Angie Dickinson on the next Sally.
Watch Sally Jesse Raphael, 10:30 a.m. Monday. This rebroadcast of tonight's 11 o'clock news is presented by Channel 6 as a public service to our late-night viewers.
It was one of the strangest games we almost ever saw. And, Gary, the Eagles could have won it.
Yeah, forget the fog for a moment. Let's realize that this is a game Eagles could have blown it open early. First in the first quarter, Randall Cunningham to Chris Carter. It appears to be a touchdown, but somebody was moving. It was Anthony Toney.
Illegal motion. Back was moving forward. It's still third down.
Now, on the next play, very next play, Mike Quick will somehow come up with the football. Is it a touchdown? No. Anthony Toney was holding.
Holding. 25. Offense. Still third down.
9 times Eagles get within the 25-yard line. All they get are 4 field goals today. Another time they're really knocking on the door. It's fourth down and short, and they end up short. How short? Look at this measurement. But the Bears have a way of finding the end zone today. Neil Anderson will run it in from the 4. Of course, Randall had the pass to Keith Jackson before that, and Keith just flat out dropped it. Here's the Anderson touchdown. Then comes the fog. Instead of the Super Bowl, it is the Super Bowl. It becomes impossible to see anything. What was happening? Well, I guess it's good you couldn't see, because for Eagle fans, Randall was throwing 3 interceptions today. Eagles could not find the end zone. Now, granted, you can't see the end zone, but the Eagles still could not find the end zone. Another interception right there. Well, you can see what happened on that play very clearly, I guess. That's why they lose the ball game, 20-12, as the final seconds kick off on what will be known forever as the Fog Bowl. But that's not all from Chicago. Scott Palmer has more from this most historic game today.
The Eagles prepared to play here in the snow. They prepared to play here in freezing temperatures. But there was no way they could prepare for what happened in a foggy Soldier Field.
What I could see was about 20 yards down the field, and then I couldn't see anything else. So if you take a 5 or 10 yard drop back behind the line of scrimmage, you can only see 15 yards past the line of scrimmage. So it changed our offense up. We had to go to the short passing game. They knew it. They jumped on the short routes.
But to their credit, the Eagles did not use the fog as an excuse. Every player I talked with said the officials made the right call by allowing the game to go on.
I think we all playing under the same element, so we can't use that as an excuse.
But the Eagles owner disagreed. Norman Brayman said playing this game under these conditions was a disgrace.
I just think it's really unfortunate that no one had the guts to really do what should have been done as far as this game is concerned.
Ironically, the Eagles secondary seemed to be in a fog even before Chicago started looking like old London town. A mix-up left Dennis McKinnon wide open for an easy 64-yard touchdown.
We're supposed to be playing a defense where it's like a zone on the backside, and it was just a breakdown by me. I take the blame for it.
On offense, missed opportunities came back to haunt the Eagles. Back-to-back penalties on Anthony Toney cost the Birds not one, but 2 touchdowns.
I got called for 2 penalties that cost us 2 touchdown plays in a row, and then I missed a pass which they intercepted, and we had drop passes and things like that. So, if you don't play well, you're not going to win.
The Eagles were also hurt by some very questionable calls. Ron Johnson thought he had the Birds set up with a 1st and goal, but the official spot left the Eagles short.
Thought I ended up at the 3-yard line, and I thought the first down was at the 4. But, the ref made the call, and you just have to live with that.
In the end, though, the Eagles lost because they could not put the ball in the end zone. Sure touchdowns became agonizing missed opportunities.
Couldn't make the big plays, and I dropped a touchdown, and that hurt us, and things like that all during the game just hurt us. We should have won it, but it was just something that happened. We just didn't.
Us just not capitalizing on our opportunities is what killed. I think we hurt ourselves as much as the Bears did.
The Eagles may have outplayed the Bears, but it isn't carved in stone that the best team always wins.
I think we're a better team, but I think they played a little better today, and they won because of it.
So the most unpredictable Eagles season in recent memory ends in the most unpredictable fashion, as the Birds lose a game that will no doubt go down in the annals of National Football League history. I'm Scott Palmer, Channel 6 Action News with the Eagles at a foggy Soldier Field, Chicago.
Now the Bears will be in the NFC title game next week, hosting the winner of tomorrow's Minnesota-San Francisco game. In the AFC, Cincinnati makes it to the AFC title game. They did so with some rock-solid defense. They stopped Seattle's run to only 17 yards total. Bengals were able to run. Ickey Woods will do his Ickey shuffle as he scrambles down the right sideline. He also scored a touchdown. It was Cincinnati over Seattle. That's right, doing the Ickey shuffle. 21-13, Cincinnati will win as Ickey finds the end zone. Flyers spending this Christmas Eve in Buffalo. Tied at 1 after 1, tied at 2 after 2. But in the third day, Poulin, with less than 5 minutes to go, scores. Happy New Year. The Flyers win in Buffalo 3-2. And it's so appropriate that the Flyers were in Buffalo tonight because during the Eagles game, I'm sure many of you were thinking about hockey in Buffalo because in the Stanley Cup Finals in '75, it was foggy in Buffalo. Inside the auditorium, the Flyers were playing the Sabres. It was so hot outside, the ice was melting inside. It was known as the Fog Game of 1975, and it goes into overtime.
It comes to Rick Martin, up ahead for Perro. Perro coming to center, dumps it off the boards in the corner. Robert going after it, he scores!
So you had fog in hockey, you have fog in football. What is worse? Either way, it's a Philadelphia loss. Bernie Perrant, the Flyers goaltender, had a great comment after that hockey game. He says, not my fault. You can't stop what you can't see.
That's right.
And that's what happens. They're 0-2 in fog games.
You can't see it in that either.
Yeah.
We'll be back with AccuWeather and the Mummers in just a minute.
Do you have what it takes to put yourself in jeopardy? It's risky.
Either I'm going to be exposed as a new village idiot, or I'm on my way to becoming a god.
It's the thrill of victory.
You become champion by a margin of $1.
Or the agony of defeat.
Schlep. No! To put yourself in jeopardy, you've got to watch it.
Play along with Jeopardy weeknights at 7 on Channel 6.
There's nothing like being a wheel watcher.
The wheel never looks better. More prizes, more puzzles, and bigger money.
When we say big money, we mean
Bigger money.
Join the excitement. Be a wheel watcher.
Say that again.
Be a wheel watcher.
Wheel Watchers, watch every weeknight at 7:30, only on Channel 6.
Philadelphia's Mummers are keeping a sharp eye on tomorrow's weather in hopes their New Year's extravaganza goes off as planned tomorrow. Members of the Oregon Mummers were putting the finishing touches on their floats here at Pier 80 on the waterfront today, and Mummers organizations around the city are geared up for another big strut down Broad Street, weather permitting. But will the weather permit? AccuWeather is saying we have a chance of some snow and sleet tomorrow, and it's just too close to call at this hour. A fast-moving storm is headed our way up from the Tennessee Valley. It is due to pass to the south of us, but we could get some precipitation out of it tomorrow. Today's high in Philadelphia was 49 degrees, the overnight low 27, 33 now. Humidity 69% with a rising barometer and a northeast wind at 7. The all-important AccuWeather forecast for tomorrow and tonight. Cloudy with snow possibly arriving by dawn tomorrow morning. Lows ranging from 23 in the outlying suburbs, 30 in Center City. It's going to be cloudy tomorrow. Snow and sleet are likely. We could get an inch or two south of Philadelphia into Delaware and South Jersey with a high tomorrow of 37. Partly sunny 45 on Monday, partly sunny and colder for Tuesday, increasing clouds Wednesday, rain or snow again on Thursday. And finally tonight, it's another New Year's Eve, and we're just about a half an hour away from 1989 when the ball drops in Times Square. Dick Clark says that's where all eyes will be.
Good evening, this is Dick Clark in Times Square in the heart of New York City. It's kind of an unusual assignment I've had for the past 17 years on ABC. We celebrate New Year's Rockin' Eve with all of these happy people. The crowd size this year is somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000, and they're waiting to see the traditional lighted ball drop. The weather is beautiful. The temperature is 37 degrees. This is the place to be, and we'll see you shortly coming up on ABC. Don't you dare go away. Dick Clark from Times Square.
And in these waning moments of 1988, we at Action News would like to wish you all the best in the year ahead. And if you make a New Year's resolution, we hope you keep it. Goodbye 88, hello 89. Action News will be back next year. New Year's Rockin' Eve is next on Channel 6. Action News continues in 1989, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Next year.
Now for Gary Papa and the entire Action News team, I'm Rob Jennings. Good night and Happy New Year.
Take a little bit of time. Move closer to your world, my friend, and you'll see.
From Channel 6, this has been Action News, the most watched news program in the Delaware Valley. When you see news happening, call the Action News tip line by dialing News 6. In New Jersey, dial 966-6666 or call our regional news bureaus.
The preceding has been a rebroadcast of tonight's 11 o'clock news, presented as a public service by Channel 6 to our late-night viewers.
Start the new year right with Crazy Eddie's New Year's Day one-day sale. Start the new year right with savings up to 60% on TVs and VCRs. Savings up to 60% on rack systems and compact disc players. Savings up to